Boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to this Friday edition of Total Health Live. I am Dr. Christopher Vogelmann of drvogelmann.com. And with me, as always, is the lovely and talented co-host.
Hi, everyone. Happy post-Thanksgiving. We have some gorgeous.
Apparently, I've lost my ability to hear you.
Pumpkin.
We're going to fix that.
We're going to fix that. Good. I'm glad. I can't hear you now. I can't hear you now. We're having some technical difficulties. We'll be right there. Can you hear me now? We are live. Can you say something, Christopher? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Go yes or no. I cannot hear you. No audio.
Yeah.
How are we doing? How are we doing?
I think we're back.
Okay, great. Well, sorry for the delay, everybody.
StreamYard did not want to play well with my fancy schmancy mic.
So. Oh, new mic. You've got a new mic.
No, it's the same mic. It's just somehow the settings got changed due to no intervention of my own.
Why don't you just say it's due to COVID? It didn't
it's
work.
Always due to everything's due to COVID.
Everything's due to COVID. Well,
we can always edit out the beginning of this, but this is the reality. So
I was talking. I was going to present. I think I'll be called the Pumpkin Lady sooner or later. I wanted to introduce you to my gorgeous friends. Aren't they just the sweetest?
I can see them. I can see them better now.
I have 6 of them. They're gorgeous.
Are you going to execute them and consume them?
I am, but that's what
that would reduce the gorgeousness.
They're happy being consumed. rather than being thrown out. It was so hard to find pumpkins, and I couldn't even believe that even just before Thanksgiving, nobody had pumpkins. And I think everyone throws out their pumpkins after Thanksgiving, after Halloween. And this is food. This is food, and really wonderful food. There's so much you can do with it.
So can
I'm
you,
making
can
buckwheat
you eat
pancakes.
pumpkins raw or no?
No, not at all.
No.
I don't think
I
you can.
always wondered about that.
I don't think you could. Well, I saw elephants eating pumpkins raw.
Well, there you go. So apparently
and
they
they
can
just
do it.
crush these guys and they just gobble them up. But no, you bake these. Did I not do my baking expose a couple of weeks ago?
Your baking expose? What was this, on Dateline or something?
I thought it was here on Total Health Live.
No, it was. You were talking about baking and making soups and things.
I was, yeah. So it's so easy. You just slice this, take the pumpkins out, bake it for well, these are probably going to be baked, require less time than an hour. And then you just scoop out all the wonderfulness, and you can put it you can make pumpkin pie if you want, or pumpkin soup. Or for Thanksgiving, I made a pumpkin spinach curry. So it's a wonderful, and I find that it works for me. It actually works better for my digestion than some of the other squashes, like kombucha squash is a little bit too starchy for me. And butternut squash is always a great squash too. So there's lots.
How about spaghetti squash? I've always liked
spaghetti squash. That's a little less dense than the kombucha. The kombucha is very dense, very starchy. So, but it's also a good food. They're also, most squashes, they're really good. They're really good for your digestion, healing your stomach lining. And so it's a great time for pumpkins if you can find them.
I was never a big fan of acorn squash, and I think it could be because my grandmother put too much butter and brown sugar on them. I wasn't a fan of the brown sugar. So yeah.
I mean, they have a natural sweetness like beets, that you don't need to add any additional sugar at all. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be baking those this weekend alongside putting up my Christmas tree. So I'll be doing some festive things this weekend.
Do you put pumpkins around the Christmas tree?
I don't. I actually have never done pumpkins like I've done this year. My husband used to make pumpkin soup all the time, so he would bring a pumpkin. But this cleanse that I've been doing, there's a lot of recipes that have pumpkins in them, and apparently the pumpkins that they use in Australia, because it's centered in Australia where it's being organized from, and they have different meanings. Like their squash is actually the kombucha, the green kombucha squash. That's what they consider pumpkins. So I don't even know if they have these kinds of pumpkins, but I will find out.
Are you out of luck in your detox if you're using the wrong species?
Not at all. Not at all. I always say you do it 80% of the time, you'll get 80% results, which is better than doing nothing and getting zero results.
So are you still on this?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Forever.
Pumpkins forever.
See, I want to make a clarification. It's not being on something. It's just eating healthy, eating really healthy and all the time as much as you can. And some of these recipes, they're very flavorful, and there's the use of a lot of herbs and spices. So it's not just a matter of steaming the pumpkins or steaming your vegetables. You get to add all these other healing spices that are really so flavorful and nourishing. Yeah.
I'm going to improve my audio function here just a second by using earbuds.
So as Christopher is trying to figure out the tech here, we're going to talk a little bit about COVID news. And speaking of Australia, they have 0 cases. And I was reading a Quora discussion, and one of the responders said it's because they're wearing masks and they're doing tracking. They had selective lockdowns closed borders by state by state border closing. And then they had mandatory 14-day hotel monitored quarantines for international flights, which is exactly what New Zealand did as well.
What were you talking about? Because I had my earbuds out.
I was talking about Australia having zero
okay. There you go.
of COVID and why that was. And did you hear any of this, or should I repeat it? I think I will repeat it. So
you don't have to, but if you can, if you want to.
Australia has 0 cases, masks, tracking, selective lockdowns, closing borders by states, not just by the country. And then they had mandatory 14-day hotel monitored quarantines for international flights. This is exactly, as I said, this is exactly what New Zealand did too. So I see photos of the people in Australia, and I saw photos yesterday of their Christmas party. It was a normal Christmas party event, no masks, no distancing, because there are no cases, which is quite incredible.
Well, that could change, but they have the capacity and the experience to be able to quickly corral that virus.
Yeah. So speaking of COVID, we won't be talking too much about COVID because that's what everyone's listening to all the time, unfortunately. But my mother's facility, she's in a senior facility. There is an outbreak. Meaning there are 6 residents who have it, 5 staff, and 5 deaths. So she is in her room. That's it. She gets her meals delivered in her room. It's very sad, but scary, vulnerable population, of course. And so that's the report on that.
Yeah, the scary parts too. My wife's family had 2 doctors who were both uncles of hers who passed away within 24 hours this past week, within 24 hours of each other, taking care of COVID patients in hospitals in Mexico. So that was the death of 2 uncles on my wife's side of the family. Both doctors. One was a brain surgeon, and the other was a cardiothoracic surgeon.
So was cause of death COVID?
Yes.
And did they have underlying causes?
Nope.
Underlying
both very healthy individuals, 70 or 68, 72 years old. So
yeah, it's very strange. We had a meeting with my husband's urologist yesterday, and he said, it's definitely going to get worse, and cold and dry is the worst thing for this. And he said our local hospital, there are only 27 cases, which is the highest it's been. I mean, not a lot of cases, but it's the highest it's been since this started. And then I have staff that work in different hospitals, so they're seeing this uptick.
Well, and nationally, we're very, very close to 3,000 deaths a day. So
yeah. So this is serious and not a good thing. So the pros and cons. His physician also said that he would probably be one of the first in the first grouping to get the vaccine. My husband, because he's so
compromised.
So at risk, and so. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I mean, for me, it's not something that I would want to have. But for him, it's, I think I'm not sure. It's probably life-saving. But we don't know.
Well, we'll know in about 5 to 10 years.
That's what I'm thinking. That was on the tip of my tongue here. I was going to say that. That's what we know.
I have no more tongue to bite. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so nebulous. And what is, and there's 2 rounds. There's the Pfizer, Moderna are coming out with theirs, and then AstraZeneca and Johnson are coming out with theirs. So this is like in a week or 2, they will be available.
Yeah, but the general population is probably not getting anything till spring. We're talking April, May.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into the whole pro or
Vaccine?
anti-vaccination thing. No, I'm not going to get into it because my family it was very controversial in my family.
Yeah.
So let's go to
It is a big divider for
yeah,
many people. So
yeah.
there you go. Let's go into Q&A, shall we? Q&A Friday.
Q&A from the Lone Star State. We have Jenny from Austin. She says, I'm having so much trouble with GERD. Can diet help? And GERD is not girding your loins. Can you explain what GERD is?
Well, it could be. GERD, gastrointestinal reflux disease or disorder. So it's the burping and the belching and the discomfort, the indigestion, all of those things. Pressure in the upper diaphragm area and also in the throat. There's
you can get some erosion of the lining
of the esophagus. Yeah. So it's really important to get that under control. And yes, diet absolutely can help. Is it a panacea? Well, it depends on several factors. Is it a weight issue? Are you digesting food? Do you have a good elimination system?
Have you been screened for stomach cancer? That's another one people don't think about. So
yeah, there's all sorts of things that could be the cause of this, and there are absolutely dietary ways of helping and healing, and finding the foods that do cause some of these reactions in you, and herbs and supplements are actually good as well. So, but a big one is your emotional state. And how you're eating, not necessarily what you're eating, but how you're eating. Are you eating in a hurry? Are you eating when you're upset? Are you eating too much? Are you eating quickly? These can also impact your ability to digest and break down the food. Anything to add to that?
I would say, get a full checkup with your physician. You might need to go to a gastroenterologist if it's not necessarily a food thing. I think my general feeling is, anything that lasts more than 3 to 5 days should be checked out.
Yeah, so they might want to do a scope or they may want to do an H. pylori test as well.
Yep.
That could be an indicator, and that's just you drink this drink and that's what happens.
It happens all the time.
It's called a breath test. I was blanking for a second. I've done it twice, and so the breath test is an easy test to figure things out. Yeah. So that hopefully that answers your question, Jenny.
If you have any more questions, Jenny, just send us a private message here. Actually, you can reach Monika, the Coaching for Health page, because we're broadcasting here, as well as I think both of us are prepared to receive personal messages, not too personal, but you can send a direct message. Do you know the way to San Jose?
I do.
Okay, I've been away so long.
I've been there so long, I hardly know the place, right?
There you go. Anyway, so Marie from San Jose is asking this question today. She says, I like to exercise generally, or I guess maybe generally exercise, or I generally like to exercise. Well, Marie, we'll figure it out because they're different meanings, but I'm not losing weight no matter what I do. What's my problem? Wow. That's like,
what's your problem?
What's your problem?
Well, what's your problem? Well, the problem could be it might have nothing to do with exercising. It might have something to do with what's going on in the kitchen. Yeah. So most of your weight loss will be in the kitchen, on your plate, and
70% or more. So.
Yeah. That's where what you need to address. How well are you eating? How efficiently are you breaking down the foods that you're eating? That can impact your metabolic rate and your whole way of being able to lose that excess, fat storage in your body. So also stress also can impact your ability to lose weight. Everyone thinks that, especially in the new year, when the new year comes, I've got to join. Well, we can't do the gym, right? We can't join the gym.
Not around here. Gym memberships
not around here. No gym for you.
But home workout equipment is crazy in terms of the sales. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a recumbent bike here that I was just before COVID. I was on nextdoor.com and someone was looking for a recumbent bike, and like so many people were on there, like, I have a bike, I have a bike. And then it stopped, right? And so I'm thinking, well, maybe I should try selling it again.
They make lovely clothes racks.
Well, we have it in the garage, and it was specifically for my husband. It's really good to get a recumbent bike when you're watching your Netflix or whatever you're watching on TV, and you just ride it while you're watching.
True. Yeah,
Ride and wide.
It's very good. Riding
Yeah.
wide. Riding with a wide screen.
Yeah.
I mean, the current occupant of the White House most likely does not have an incumbent bike.
Or any.
We did see the president-elect riding bikes.
No incumbents.
But no incumbent bike. I was thinking recumbent, incumbent. But it would be incumbent. It would be incumbent upon us to perhaps move to the next question, because
I hope we answered your question. I mean, it's simple. Look at your diet first, and look at the type of exercise you're doing too. That might not be the right exercise for you. Like,
yeah, I don't know if you're weightlifting or doing aerobic activity or doing yoga or eating yogurt while you jump rope in the kitchen.
Well, hopefully you're not. But it's interesting. I actually have a consultation with someone who looks at your body type. And so with each body type, especially in Ayurvedic medicine, and I think in Chinese medicine, but they don't go this far, I don't think. So there's specific types of exercises that suit you and your temperament and your body type as well. So that's something that I would more than be happy to talk to you about that. So, message me here or contact me at monika@coachingforhealth.com. I'd be more than happy to help you with that, figuring that out for you, or helping you figure this out. Together, we can figure it out.
Better together.
Yes.
Hey, so we have, back in my neck of the woods, New York, Roberta from Manhattan asks.
Are you in New York?
No, I used to be in New York a lot. I was born in New York. I am a New Yorker. I still have my old New York driver's license.
There you go.
And I'm a lifetime Buffalo Bills fan. The real New York, because the other two teams play in New Jersey.
Real New York.
The Jets and the Giants play in New Jersey in the Netherlands. So I'm a real.
I think I was in New York in my dream last night. I'm in New York a lot in my dream, in Manhattan primarily.
Well, there you go. Well, maybe you'll bump into Roberta in your dreams here. She has a question.
Roberta? Okay. Where is she?
Manhattan.
Manhattan. There you go.
Manhattan. She's got a Manhattan project of her own, which is, I love food. Going on any type of plan that would restrict me. What is it going? I think she says she doesn't want to be going on any kind of plan that would restrict her, but she needs to do something soon. I'm 50 pounds overweight, and I've been told that I'm pre-diabetic. How can I get on track, control my mindset, and get going? I think you need to engage in one of Monika's programs. That's my opinion.
Yeah. And the word that sticks out for me is restrict. Nobody wants to be restricted. Nobody wants to be deprived and restricted. So your mindset has to be shifted a little bit with what is it that you want? What are your goals? Do you want to do it because you have to do it and it's something you should do? Or do you really want to feel better in your body? Do you really want to not go down the path of prediabetes and diabetes and everything else that entails? Because it's a killer. It's a killer.
Yeah, because what you want to really avoid is post-diabetes, which is you're no longer breathing.
Yeah, that's post-diabetic.
I'm going to call post-diabetic anybody who's no longer breathing.
Yeah, post-life. And we're not laughing. It's not a laughing matter at all. This is a serious matter. And if you have that diagnosis already and you clearly you've got some additional weight that is not a healthy thing for you, it sounds like. So that has to be your main goal is I don't know if it's like, I want to have optimal health, because most people can't relate to optimal health. What does that mean? But is it avoidance of disease? And really, do people really know what that means too? How devastating it is. I mean, I see it firsthand how devastating it is. And I was just talking to one of my husband's aides the other day, and I said, you know what? You don't want to keep eating 90% sodium or 50% sodium packaged foods, because, it's a path to, a place that you don't want to go. It's a path to poor health and disease. So you have to do something. You have to, okay, here I'm saying have to, you know, choose to do something. Choose to do something that will help your life, will help your body feel better, will help you move better, whatever the reason is. But choose something.
I think the basic mindset of most people is just to eliminate symptoms. So if you're symptom free, that's pretty much good enough for the average person. Having more energy, having more restful sleep, other things like that are kind of low on the totem pole of what most people value when it comes to healthcare. Because for the most part, healthcare has to do with disease care in the United States. And few, if any, healthcare providers are primarily concerned with promoting wellness.
Yeah, well, I mean, paint a picture in your mind. Think of, like, that's why I use the skinny jeans weight loss, the skinny jeans icon
The
as
desired outcome is to have fit in your
it's like
skinny
those
jeans.
clothes in the back of your closet that you would like to fit in, because when you fit into those, you felt really good. You felt light. You felt like you could do things. And, you know, there's no feeling like that, because what the adjunct feeling is that you are healthier. You're obviously healthier. Unless, of course, you went on a starvation diet and you did all the wrong things, then of course not. But if you're choosing to eat well and you're getting into your skinny jeans and you're feeling like $1,000,000, because you will feel that, what is that worth? What is that worth?
I do fit it in my skinny jeans now, but I only feel like $900,000. I got a ways to go.
What will put you over the top? Christopher, what will do it
I
for
think
you?
I need to have more restful sleep. That would put me over the top. The challenge I have is having an overly active, highly creative mind, which does problem solving. I do tend to write things in the middle of the night because I've done some amazing stuff just from waking up in the middle of the night. But falling to sleep and staying asleep has always been a challenge for the past 60 plus years. So.
Yeah, you know, I used to do that a lot more than I do now. I actually, I've been having, what's interesting is I've been going to bed a little bit later, and I've been sleeping so deeply and soundly. Like, it's real solid sleep for about 7 hours where I'm not waking up. And but yeah, I used to be up and writing and all sorts of things, and my brain was so active. I started taking this one product. It would either I'd take magnesium or this other one product from Designs for Health called Stress Arrest, and that helps with this repetitive thinking cycle. And there's other tricks that I have used in the past. I mean, occasionally I might, you know, suffer from that, but yeah, we need to help you.
No. I mean, I know what to do. The challenge is I am overworked, but that's the way it always is in Q4.
That's it.
Q4 every single year is crazy around here, and we even started a Shopify store about 3.5 weeks ago or so, and the whole Black Friday selling thing, shipping, and everything became somewhat problematic. And so I do feel like I'm juggling 3 different businesses simultaneously, plus starting 2 other new projects.
Yeah,
but
I always say take things off your plate. And this is something, I don't want to counsel you right now, but this is something I've heard you say.
The thing about all of it is I know it's temporary. I know it will pass. And one solution has been taking naps in the afternoon, and that seems to keep me going. So,
your dad did that, right?
My dad did the same damn thing.
Yeah.
He slept between 2 and 2:15. Now, my mom was a napper too, but she was a bad napper. And so, meaning that bad napper. The reason she was a bad napper is if she napped for more than maybe 10 minutes, like she took a nap for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, she woke up really mean. So So we knew to stay away from her
That's
after a
not
nap.
to. That's not to. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. That's why I do my meditation. I don't actually nap. I time it. I put my phone on for 20 minutes. And so you're not really, I mean, you can go into a deep sort of state, but you're not really falling asleep because that can cause some crankiness. She probably needed more sleep. That's why she woke up cranky.
Yeah, it's quite possible. I mean, that's the personality factors were also different than my father's.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah,
does that help you, Roberta? Roberta's not here right
I
now.
hope it does.
Get on track. Control your mindset. I mean, it's all about controlling your thoughts, which if you control your thoughts long enough, you control your beliefs and change your beliefs and recode your brain, reset your brain into a different belief structure, which will then have the waterfall effect of changing your behavior.
Yeah, and I think it's really helpful. It's hard to do this on your own, and I say this all the time. It really is because we can play games with our thoughts and our intentions and our good intentions. So it's good to have accountability. Is a really good thing to have someone to answer to. So you can. I mean, it's so valuable.
So if we play games with our thoughts and intentions, will there be valuable prizes?
Valuable prizes will be you get things done, you do what you're you do what you want to do, and reach your goals. Those are the valuable prizes.
Do what you want to do when you want to do. And right now, I wouldn't mind being in Miami, where David is from. I just kind of like the
Miami.
idea of getting off the island once in a while. My wife
Are you
does
getting
most.
island fever?
I'm stuck I'm stranded on an island.
Island fever.
I got island fever. Most people want to come to this island for tourism and vacation. I want to get off the island.
Mhm.
So he says my wife does most of the cooking. So does mine. How can I get her on board with my goal to lose weight and get healthy? Well, the question is, what is she cooking? Is she
What is she
making pumpkin
cooking?
soup like Monika?
Well, that would be good if she is. It's hard. It's it's another sort of a mindset shift for you. And if she's not willing to, cook what you'd like to cook, maybe you need to start cooking yourself, or try and enroll her into the wonderful prospect of good eating and good health.
Or
And
don't eat everything that she's cooking. If she's giving you a serving of pie, you can say, no, honey, I don't need any dessert tonight, for example. Or if there's a side of mashed potatoes, you can say, oh no, I'd rather, can you give me more of the vegetables?
this is interesting because I know in the eating style test there's a type that's called what is it called?
Celebratory.
The celebrator, or
Not
actually
the,
it's
not the
another.
celibate, not the celibate.
It's like the person who can't say no.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
bringing the food, they're eating the food. Like if there's events or gatherings, they're bringing the food, they're eating the food. They can't say no. No, I can't. And I usually find this more with women than with men. Men usually, I don't want it. I don't want it. That's it. But
Men don't mind offending the cook.
no, yeah,
No,
or they
I'm
don't.
totally
Um,
kidding.
Yeah, you should be because because that pie
I
is going to
I
be in your
should be.
face. That pie is going to be thrown in your face if you don't
Hey,
watch it.
I had plenty of pie. I don't need more pie in my eye.
No more pie.
No more
So
pie.
yeah, it's a tough one, and I think you need to have a conversation. Many conversations about why you're doing it and how to include her in this process.
Well, and here's another thing that you could do, and I find that this can be useful too, because when we were running the weight loss clinic in DC, we actually had sometimes highly nutritious shakes or smoothies, and you would
Mhm.
take those in the morning for breakfast, one at lunch, and then a meal in the evening was not a big problem. And if they're packed with enough nutrients, you're not going to go hungry.
Yeah.
And it's a way for you maybe to skip the bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich at lunch.
Well, maybe you need the bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. I mean, maybe you need some nutrition, and maybe it's gluten-free bread and all sorts of things. So, that's not a bad sandwich. But maybe. I mean, we're guessing here. Maybe it's pizza that is being served, or pasta that's being served every day, or what have you. Maybe your wife doesn't want to change. Maybe she is happy. Who knows? Maybe she's at the right weight. Maybe she's not at the right weight.
The question is, does she need to lose weight too? We don't know. There's so many unknowns in this question.
Even if she did need to lose weight, she may not want to lose weight.
That's true. Needs and wants are different.
It could be threatening for her as well.
Yeah, because maybe she would need to get a whole new wardrobe. But that sometimes is an incentive for people.
Yeah, or need to change, which is not a great incentive oftentimes.
Just remember, change is good. Ask any baby with a full diaper. You can quote me.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of unknowns here, but I mean, you can get her on board if you just sit down with her and talk about what your goals are, and hopefully you have mutual goals since you've been married. It doesn't say how long they've been married, but David, hopefully that helps a little bit. You can always reach out on the website Coaching for Health and get some more help from Monika. Nebraska.
Wow.
Donna from Omaha. I remember Warren Buffett is the Oracle of Omaha.
Oracle.
Yeah. So Donna asks, I know that there's a big focus on the immune system right now with COVID, but I'm not a big fan of taking supplements. What else can I do? Well, whole foods in large quantities.
Whole foods.
Veggies, low carb fruits, low carb veggies.
Why low carb fruits?
Because that's what they're asking you about on the phone.
You're calling me now. Hello.
That's Donna from Omaha. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, caller. We're going to do live calls right here, right now. Fruits and vegetables loaded with immune enhancing.
Well, you want dense. You want foods that are dense in nutrients. I think that's maybe the best way of putting it. You could also use powdered supplements if it's the pill form or the capsules that you don't like taking.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer choosing food. Food first. Supplements. The word supplement is it's there to supplement, not
in addition to what you are currently eating.
Yeah, exactly. So it's in addition to, and sometimes you need some therapeutic nutritional supplements. They look, do you want to have nutritional therapeutic supplements now, or do you want to have medication later? So there is a plethora of research and clinical data supporting a lot of these supplements. They just are very effective, but you may not, for whatever reason, if you don't want to take them, look at your diet, look at your food, look at how you live and your lifestyle, because that if you're in a stress environment, 100% or 80% of the time, that's going to deplete your immune system, no doubt. So look at that as a lifestyle, possibly a way to, alter your lifestyle choices at this time. That'll be immune enhancing for you. You want to be able to make some changes. Again, with the change. It's all about change, isn't it, Christopher?
It's all about that change. All about
the change. All the change.
Static.
I felt like I just went in circles in that last answer, so I hope
that's okay. That's okay. She can circle back to you at coachingforhealth.com.
Yeah, please. If you need some clarification on what I just said. I think I was a little distracted by the phone call, so.
Hey, I just got a phone call too. I have another. Do you want to talk to this spam person who's on here?
No, we want to answer more questions. Who else is up next?
All right. We leave Nebraska and we come to the state next door to us, which is Arizona. So Pete from Scottsdale asks, hey, Monika, are there any good ways to get my blood pressure under control? I really don't want to take medication, My blood pressure ranges between 130 and 150. Well, my first question is, Pete, how old are you? Because it may not be that bad if you're, say, 80 or 70 years old.
Well, it may not be that bad. I mean, you definitely don't want it to go higher, but you could bring it down.
It could be situational too, but I do agree there's ways of getting your blood pressure under
So
control.
I would ask, how often are you checking your blood pressure, and what is happening just before you check your blood pressure? It's often higher in a doctor's office, but
so white coat syndrome.
Yeah, diet, exercise, diet, exercise. If you're overweight, letting go of some of that weight will help you with your blood pressure. And again, there's such, huh? Sorry?
I was going to say there are a lot of studies that show that chiropractic adjustments can help reduce blood pressure.
I'm a big fan of chiropractic adjustments.
Yeah.
I can hardly wait to get to see my chiropractor again. But
where's he hiding? Is he hiding from you?
She's a she. She's not hiding. No,
is he a she? Is he a she now?
I'm not sure if they've closed down chiropractic offices, but
they're opened here in San Diego County.
Yeah, I think
for now.
I think they're considered essential, right?
Yeah, they had problems where they were not considered essential
initially. Yes,
and then the problem that had happened was that a lot of hospital workers, particularly nurses,
needed them.
First responders and others, because they were overworked in so many ways, and there were back pains and shoulder pains and neck pains and other things. The realization was they couldn't burden the hospitals or other medical doctors' offices, and they finally recognized that chiropractors can provide valuable pain relief and functional improvement to all these frontline workers. So
that's fantastic. But
that took a little finagling, because I really couldn't understand why they were closed.
So chiropractic, potassium helps, magnesium helps, supplementally. I mean, that can be turned around. That's not that high, so that can be turned around.
And salt sensitive hypertension is approximately 15% of all high blood pressure cases. However, I do recall with one of our family members happened to be in that 15%. So restricting sodium was very important in her case. So.
Yeah, and it is genetic. There's a genetic factor oftentimes. Everyone in my family, well, not everyone, but many have it, high blood pressure. And I normally had a low blood pressure, and so it was elevating because I was under a lot of stress for a period, and now it's back to normal.
I've had patients whose normal blood pressure is 90/60.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is. So
with my husband, his normal is like 150 over, usually about 80-85. That's his normal. So
I always look, I tell you, for many decades, I would always look as the diastolic. The lower number to me was far more significant than the upper one. So.
And it is interesting, the diastolic, if it's highly elevated, that's an indicator of possible.
That to me is the worst one. If somebody was saying, if somebody says, instead of 120/80, I'm 135/90, that's when my eyes would, eyebrows would raise up, because that ain't no good. So your lower number is the one I would be concerned with in particular.
Yeah, so. That is an indication of possible liver involvement, a liver concern when it's that high. The diastolic, anyway, the lower number. So so do what
Get
you
it
can.
checked out.
Do what you can. Pete.
From the land of 10,000 lakes, we have Denise, Minnesota. We have Denise from St. Paul, across the river from Minneapolis, a place where I've been many, many times.
Been there too.
Denise from St. Paul asks the following. She says, I work really hard, don't we all? And I find myself either having a glass of wine or two or a snack in the evening. I enjoy it, but it might help me if I gave those things up. Any suggestions about what I could do to change this habit? I wonder if she's got chocolate cookies and wine.
Well, try changing some of your patterns and some of your environmental cues. What I mean by that, if you're having those things in a particular part of your home, go to a different, like if it's, I have this after I do that and I do it there, try and change one of those factors, like go somewhere else after you do that particular action. So it doesn't cause this like pattern of, I do this, then I do this, then I do this. Break that pattern somehow. Do something different. For example, if you have pumpkin pie after, is it wine? Or if you have your glass of wine with your dinner.
Well, it was a glass of wine or two.
Or two, yeah. So how about putting something that looks like wine in your wine glass, but is not wine? You could put some hemp water. You could put some berries in there, so it looks, it looks like maybe white wine or something. Like, try to fool your brain a little bit. You have to kind of play these games, or have something like tea, something warm and soothing with your meal. Or
but
after
not Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid is not a good substitute. Or
go
Tang.
for a walk. You don't, so do something before your meal, like go for a walk before you have your meal. So that's going to change your pattern, this habitual action that you're doing. Any other ideas?
I would say take a warm bath, because your snack, you're probably not going to have a piece of cake or pie at the edge of your tub.
Well,
or maybe you might. I don't know.
You can have another kind of snack too. You could have a piece of fruit instead of, like, I don't know what your snack is.
Yeah, well, the other thing I'm trying to figure out, it was having a glass of wine or two, or a snack in the evening. I'm hoping it's not, it's a glass and not a bottle. That's good.
It is a glass.
And she does say glass.
She wouldn't have. I have a bottle or two.
I have a bottle or two. Only one or two bottles. So, but I mean, but it depends on your snack too. I mean, if you could have a blood sugar issue where you kind of feel a little bit low, and maybe that's why you want your snack. I don't know if you're eating enough during the day. Maybe that's the other problem.
That's true. That's true. Also, maybe not have any alcohol or any wine in the house. It's like when I recommend people to get off some of the sweets. Just don't have them around.
Yeah, accessibility is probably my greatest challenge, which is why I still haven't had ice cream since April.
Yeah, you have it?
No ice cream.
No, I know you. But if you have it in the house, you're going to those vulnerable moments. You're going to go towards
most of the time. That would have been true in the past, but we actually had a half gallon that I didn't touch over the course of several weeks. But the redhead did. So I just didn't even look at. I mean, I saw it in the freezer and I didn't touch it. So
yeah, it's like pumpkin pie here for my husband. During Thanksgiving, you decide, and that's it. Nothing else. You don't see anything else. You see pumpkins instead of pumpkin pie.
Lovely. You think pumpkin soup? I would never think pumpkin soup.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous. You've been pushing that for quite some time.
Well, listen, I'm just as good a punster as you at the best of times. Is there a competition going on here?
Oh, believe me, you would not stand a chance. Anyway, just ask my wife.
We talk about the challenge, the
4 a.m., 2 a.m., puns at 4 a.m. Okay, so we've actually gone through 48 minutes of time here. This was longer than I had thought. I do have another broadcast to do in 12 minutes. And quite frankly, I need to finish writing my outline for that broadcast.
Outline. I do mine now Thursday nights.
Good for you. I need to do mine now.
Student. So thank you for being here this week. It's show 41, right?
The number 41, numero 41.
Numero 41. All
right. I don't feel sick.
I don't feel sick.
All right. So we will be back again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Come with your questions and comments and join us again for
Total Health Live.
There you go. That was your cue.
See you then. Bye. Have a good mood.